Good evening, everybody. It is Lord Zakari once again, doing another commentary over raid montage. And tonight, well, it's the first of many Kyogre raids. I'm just going to disclaim this actually isn't the first batch of Kyogre raids I did. This was a little bit later, so this is post me getting the shiny. But this was a specific day that I wanted to get down. I'm also grinding while I'm recording this. So if I pause for any second, that's why. But this is the day that had like the really, it was like it's a painful to look at Kyogre Raid that I talked about in a previous video. So I just wanted to talk about that and get that right away, just because it's kind of funny looking back on it, but it was so frustrating during the raid itself. Anyway, this is not that raid. I think this was the first raid of this day. It was in the middle of a park. I think that gym is EX eligible. I've never gotten a pass for it, but you know what? You can try, right? Speaking of EX raids, my next EX raid actually is, it's past midnight now, so it's technically today. It's going to be late in the afternoon, so no real schedule interference because of that. Don't need to break or anything, or wake up extra early for this raid. It's at 4 p.m. It's especially helpful. A lot of people are able to just leave work and go straight to the raid, unlike, the last year I've been at where it was in the middle of the day, so you had to make exceptions for it or just not go. Also, EX Raid Pass Wave went out today/yesterday. It's early morning, so it's in that gray area for me. As I'm recording this, for July the 5th, I did get another pass for that wave. Some people said they weren't getting in-game notifications about it. I did, but some people said they didn't get notifications. So, if you didn't get a notification and you didn't check your inventory, I recommend you do, just in case you did get a pass. And finally, just another news flash. Body Slam Snorlax, which had previously been Legacy since February of 2017, I believe, which is when Gen 2 dropped and Snorlax's moveset changed. And it lost Body Slam and it gained Heavy Slam. That's when it became Legacy. Body Slam Snorlax will now be available, but only through the field research breakthroughs in the month of July. So, unfortunately for me, I can't redeem a stamp until... actually, if I hold off on redeeming a stamp until the first Tuesday in July, I could get 5 body spam laxes, but unlike some people, I enjoy keeping my streaks going. I have an uninterrupted stamp redemption streak since research came out. I have never missed a day. I don't plan on doing it even if it means I'm missing out on a Body Slam Snorlax. So, oh well. So that means I'm just getting 4, but Body Slam is Snorlax's best defensive charge move, even though he no longer learns it. The ones that do have it from back when he did learn it perform better than Snorlax with its currently available charge moves, which are Hyper Beam, Earthquake, and Heavy Slam. Out of those 3, Earthquake is, objectively the worst, and then Heavy Slam and Hyper Beam have different pros and cons. Body Slam was just better overall because, unlike Hyper Beam, Body Slam can be spammed and it has a really nice base power, and so that's like Heavy Slam in that respect. Heavy Slam can be spammed, but like Hyper Beam, Body Slam has neutral coverage because it's normal type and it has stab. For this, it may look like my throws are a little bit subpar. That's largely because I was walking to another raid while I was catching this. I did really want to catch it, so I was somewhat patient. I was not... that throw doesn't count. But, and neither does that. But for most of the throws, I did not try to throw until I was absolutely certain that it wouldn't attack. But it did go down. Kyogre was very nice to me on his 3rd return. This is the 3rd time he was back, right? This is the 3rd time he's been out. 2nd time he's been back, right? I very rarely lost a Kyogre. This time he was out. So, and my trend of catching the vast majority of legendaries continues with Regice. I'll only talk about that starting next week, though. Probably next week, I think. I have a lot of Kyogre Raid footage to go through. this is another one. This was it's technically a low man, and it's especially trying because we had a couple of underleveled people in the lobby. So there were only three of us level 40s fighting this Kyogre, and then there were a couple of people in low 30s, and one person was like level 24, I think. And this Kyogre, of course, had Blizzard. So you already know, like, okay, 6 people versus Kyogre, it's already kind of trying it, but it can be done, right, if it has Thunder or Hydro Pump, because while Kyogre's grass counters resist Hydro Pump and Thunder, and his electric counters resist Thunder too. They don't resist Hydro Pump, but you know. However, Blizzard OHKOs electric types in neutral, unless it's like a maxed out Raikou, then it survives one cycle of waterfalls and then the Blizzard that comes after it, but then it dies almost immediately afterwards. And of course, every grass type counter gets destroyed by Blizzard. They all get one shot regardless. Excuse me. So this was an adventure. We did have a vote on whether or not we were going to do this because we only had 6 people, and it was Blizzard. There were reinforcements coming in, like there was another group that was going to come and do this after we got there, but we just wanted to get it over with. And it was clear weather, right? So we were like, okay, we'll have a core of 340s go in, and then everyone else can be backup. As you can see, it took me 3 teams. I had my main team die twice, and then because we were running low on time, I just took my gym sweeping team, because the lead was a level 40 Mewtwo, and I was like, that's neutral damage, right? So that's all good. And we did do it, and thanks to us low manning it, I also got more damage balls than usual, which is wonderful. This is why you should aim for low manning legendaries, by the way. Low manning any raid, using as few people as possible, guarantees that you'll get a higher amount of damage balls, so more chances of catching the raid boss, and also because the number of damage balls you receive correlates to the number of reward bundles you receive from the raid. You also get more stuff out of it. More raid exclusive items like rare candies, TMs, golden raspberries, etc. That's another terrible throw. I have no excuse for me here. I wasn't going anywhere after this one. I have no excuse for doing so badly. I was just I was sitting there and I was just throwing terribly. I have no excuse. But Kyogre loves me, so I do end up catching this one, I think. There's one in here that runs away. Well, one in this set of raids that actually does get away. Wow, this one really didn't like getting hit by mirror balls. But oh yeah, to reiterate what I was saying, I don't often bring it up because either I'm raiding with people who know that low manning is in your best interest, or I'm not. And for the people who don't know or don't care, there's just no point in bringing it up, because some of these people also think, Aggron is a good counter for Kyogre. But what are you going to do? So, if a group of 20 people just want to go in, my idea is okay, well, I'm probably only going to get 7 or 8 balls, because I'm going to be competing with people who either will out-damage me, will do as much damage as me, and then there will be a lot of people who will just get no damage balls at all. They'll just get the base 6, and that's fine too. I guess 6 chances is better than no chances. If 20 people go in on a raid boss, it's a guaranteed win, so I pass it on, right? I guess, especially if you don't know if the group's coming, and it goes down. So it's like with telling people to not use Aggron. I mean, if you win, then save that fight for another day, because they're just going to say Aggron's good because you won with it. It's okay, whatever. Even if the numbers say otherwise. It's like having a debate with, I was going to make a comment, but I'm not going to. I decided against it. This is another Kyogre raid. I did not see the gym this was at, but this one happened. They just kind of all began blending in. Actually, I will say this. You see the Alolan Exeggutor. That is not in some of my Kyogre recordings, because I did not swap that into my team until later. It's in the previous video with the lower tier water raids, sometimes, and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I have 2 level 40 normal Exeggutors, so sometimes it's not on the team. That's because halfway through Kyogre's return this time, I swapped out one of my normal Exeggutors, I think it was the lower IV one, and I put the Alolan Exeggutor on the team just because it was tankier than normal Exeggutor. So if you're wondering why. Okay. But I'm just looking at it on the gauge number, like 2281, that's decent-ish. That's like low 80s, high 70s, depending on the IV spin, of course. I think this one is the one that gets away. I think I had this recording labeled fail because the amount of Kyogres I lost were so small that I actually just only had to label like 2 or 3 as like, you know, it ran away, what have you. I was really patient with this one. Like, you see me, I'm just constantly holding the ball and like setting the circle. Also, for this one, because Kyogre kept moving off to the left or right, I did have to, if you know about the set circle trick, I'm not going to explain it here. I'm going to just ask you to Google that if you don't know what it is. It'll come up, video by, I think, videos by like a lot of people come up, but the originator of the term was Prodigy's Nation, if you want to know who the original user of the term was. We're not going to talk about that really, really bad throw, by the way. Oh, this was Embassy of Spain. But continuing my discussion about the set circle trick, for Kyogre, I have to have the circle be at different sizes. So I can have the circle be a lot smaller if it's in the center, and if it's off to, like, so if it's in the center, I can get it's like kind of reliable. It's a kind of reliable, excellent throw if it's in the center for me. And if it's off to the left side, I can reliably get greats on him. If it's off to the left, I have to keep the circle a little bit larger. Sometimes I'll get greats if the game is generous, but most of the time it's a nice throw. I don't think Friendship was out yet. No, I think Friendship came out the day Regice came out. This was, I think, the Thursday previous, or it was a Thursday or a Tuesday, this day of footage. I can't see the date right now, or can I? No, I can't. I don't have the date labeled for this this montage. At some point, I'm going to start doing them as I got the footage in chronological order. The plan was to... Oh, this is another Blizzard Kyogre. I just can't say how happy I am that Kyogre's gone. Because this was really taxing on my revives and potions. Because I fought way more Blizzard Kyogre this time that he was back than any other time. So the first time that Kyogre was out, I think I did a grand total of maybe 8 Kyogre Raids. And I think a grand total of 2 were Blizzard. And then the rest were Hydro Pump or Thunder. And when Kyogre was back, the return the first time, you know, when he was on the same team as Groudon and they were against Rayquaza for that little event, I only did 1 Kyogre raid because nobody wanted to do Kyogre or Groudon, and to be frank, I didn't want to either, because I wanted Rayquaza to win so we could have the Windy Weather boosted egg event, and we did. But the 1 Kyogre I did on the return had Thunder. I didn't catch that one, unfortunately. I did exactly 1 Kyogre. I think I did 3 Groudon, and then I did maybe 10 or 11 Rayquaza over that time period. And Rayquaza won. It was like by a pretty big margin. But this time, like, it seemed maybe 2 out of every 3 Kyogre had Blizzard. So it was very taxing on my revive supply. And I'm kind of glad we have Regice, because Regice honestly does not... if I'm low-manning Regice, of course I lose my first team. And I have 3 teams set up, but if it's more than, say, 6 or 7 people, Regice doesn't even beat my first team. And I'm really glad about that, because, wow, I really hated how strong Kyogre was as a raid boss. That's the one thing I hated about Kyogre's strength. He's really good in your party because of how strong he is, but as a raid boss, this comes back to bite you because, right, you're taking a lot of damage, you're going to lose a lot more Pokemon, etc. And, like you see here, I had to wait till the circle was like that big and it had a nice diameter. But also you see Kyogre just, he really liked me on this return. So, like, that was enough. I didn't get the gym for this one. I had to get that out. Probably because of how glitchy my phone was. My phone was really glitchy the week I recorded this. I'm still working out the kinks with my phone, actually. I said things were all good, but I actually had to switch recording software because the application I was using initially was extremely glitchy. It actually failed to record a bunch of things in the last couple of days. So I'm changing recorders. We're going to see what happens. Otherwise, I'm going to look into other things for how to record reliably. We're going to see. But I do have a lot of things to go through, so I have time to get more footage. And I do have recordings from this week. Like, I just didn't go like a full couple of days without recording anything or anything. I do have recordings. It's just that a lot of things I wanted to have recorded and I'm not going to record it. Also, I'm going to just put this here because this is it's like an aside. It's not really related, and this Kyogre was really quick anyway, so I'm just going to talk about this. For the Alolan eggs, and if you haven't noticed, there's it's floating around now, and I actually did participate in this on the Silph Road. It was a study looking at the hatch rates for the 4 Alolan Pokemon that hatch at the moment, and like Alolan Vulpix clocks in a solid 3.8%. I round up to 4, but whatever. And let me tell you, I feel the 4%. One person I know got it on his second egg. So on his second Alolan egg, he hatched it. He hatched it today. And me, I've been through 67 of them. I haven't seen one. I've hatched 2 perfect Alolan Pokemon before seeing an Alolan Vulpix. And I can tell you that because I have 2 perfect Alolan Pokemon and no Alolan Vulpix. And, oh, well, I forgot to remove that. I'm afraid to let that little slide down. I tried to edit those out, but I'm just going to leave that in because it's really late. And there's nothing important that I swiped out, I don't think. Yeah, I was like, I hope if it was anything important, I would just, black that out. But it's just a Discord notification, so it's all good. I'm just going to edit out, the 10 or 20 seconds of me going back to see what that was. I was just going to be carefree and leave it in, but then I thought, I shouldn't be like that. If it's something extremely important, I should black it out. But it's a Discord notification, so it's all good. Where was I? Oh yeah. Whatever with Alolan Vulpix. It's the one Alolan form I really want. I do know that to get a very, very high chance of statistically getting something, you need to have... Oh god. Hold on. So it's 3 times the reciprocal to have a 95% chance. So it's roughly a 1 in 25 chance of hatching a Alolan Vulpix. So it'd be 1 in 75 to have you'd have to hatch 75 eggs basically to have a 95% chance of seeing one. So I'm almost there. We'll see. In the next couple of days I'll tell you if it was all worth it or not. But this is the really bad raid I was talking about in the last one. You see this, I'm just stalling and just frozen on 0 seconds, I think for a solid 10 seconds there. I'm frozen here. I thought I was actually just going to get glitched out of the raid. And if you want to know what happened, it was really, really hot. It was like 110 degrees. Well, no, it was like 95 or 96 degrees, actually. But my phone's temperature was like 130 or 140. This was the last raid of the day, right? It was like, as you see, it's 6:10. I was done. And I had somewhere to be at 7:30. So I was going to do this and I was going to hop to it. But like you saw that, so my Kyogre was in there obviously, but it lost more than half of its HP bar. If you're wondering why I brought a Kyogre in, I was running at less than a frame a second. I was running like 0.05 frames a second or something. I could not switch teams, so I was stuck with that. I ended up with a 98% Omanite in my team because instead of swapping it, made me pick that, and I think it swapped out a Cloyster or something. But also, you saw, like, it was done really quickly, right? There's 17 people in here, so I didn't even lose 2 Pokemon, but wow, I wasn't in the raid until 250 seconds. Like, I lost, I think, a solid 50 seconds. I think I lost a minute of dealing damage during this raid. And this is a good Kyogre too. It was 2307, I believe, which is like, it's either 91 or 93%. IV checking did not give me a solid answer on it. But you see that I got 0 damage balls, so I did basically nothing. I only got the base 6 balls. That's how bad my phone performance was for this raid. So now I'm like always checking to see my phone performance. So this is actually a pretty good Kyogre, and I was worried. I was like, oh no, of course I get a good Kyogre on the one raid where my phone completely loses it and I can't do anything, right? And like my phone was still extremely laggy here. Do you see that? So I was extremely worried, but there is no need to worry, right? I'm going to just spoil it for you. I catch it on this ball, so it doesn't even matter, because Kyogre loves me, so I caught it. And but this is it, guys. This is the end of it. I'm just talking about whatever I want. So I figured, why not? That's me at my best. So tomorrow there will be another video similar to this. Tomorrow I'm probably going to upload the stuff with the shiny, or I'm lying to you and I'm not. It really depends on which day I pick. I don't remember which day I got the shiny. But the day with the shiny will go up as its own separate montage at some point this week. And this week, before Friday. Anyway, that's all. Like, comment, and subscribe. hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.